away again. Wheeling to the outside. Konechny, a rising shot. And that hit a glass support and popped down. Now Alexiak, then Crosby. A pass too far goes down, and there'll be no icing.
Like being an old defenseman, you know if you're going to pinch down, it sure helps to have forwards coming back. Right now, Pittsburgh's trying to pinch. The forwards aren't helping out at all.
Rolled on back. To play it there. Then Malkin. Then popped back out again by Carl Hagelin. And this one stripped on further to be played along.
Number for Philadelphia. And we are underway. First period of action. And there'll be plenty of action between these two.
Control it. As rushed nearby and then misfired for the point. Wheel and Simmons get the assist on Sanheim's second. 5:03 elapsed time of the first was the time the goal was scored.
Redirection, nicely done. Hornquist going to the net as usual. Expect to see more of that. Nice pass by Schultz. Better saved by Lyon.
Look at how Lyon tracks that puck, Mike. He just stared that thing right into his body, and he was square to the shooter. He was not cheating on the play at all. That'll make his college coach, Keith Elaine, who was a formidable goalie in his day, very excited. Alex Lyon was a very important player for the Elis when he played there.
Off this face-off, it is tapped around behind and sent on by Travis Sanheim. This one escapes all the way down on Murray, so no icing as he hands to Dumoulin, and he hands to Schultz. Nicely kicked and controlled, and then work back ahead as they try to lead one ahead for Kuhnhackl, but that doesn't work for Dominic Simone. Work back up off the boards, and it ricocheted back near McDonald, dug out and laid back around by Laterra. McDonald can get help from Sanheim, but that one is turned quickly back to Simone, laid it ahead for where he thought Crosby might be, and he was off by just a bit. So now Chris Letang led it ahead, and Hornquist there. Hornquist along, but does not have it. Worked on back across, and it is floated on out to center. Couturier there, and it might be a 2-on-1 as they march back ahead. Konechny and shot, and that one would not go. Rattled all the way around and can be taken by Provorov, given on now to Sean Couturier.
That last play was a great example of Sean Couturier's hockey IQ. He knew Alexiak was going to pinch down on him, and then he just chipped the puck to Konechny. Brilliant play.
Here is Provorov marching ahead. Got it across to Jake Voracek, and he jammed one off a stick that went wide. That was the stick of Ruhwedel. Meanwhile, this kicks on back to be lobbed along for a chop by Gostisbehere. And a second chop freed it up for Voracek, who laid it back across. Given back on the wing, Lindblom tried to play it further and could not. Right back out in front, it came off Murray. Another shot got the glass. What a funnel through from Manning to the back, and now it is Gudas with a shot that is stopped by Murray.
That Gudas shot was a knockaway, Doc. Really good reaction by Matt Murray.
Ahead with this now comes Ole Mata. Looks for help. Mata wedged off by Gudas to the corner. Their backs collide, and then it is Mata scaling it up the wall. Waiting is Schultz. Played it further now for Sherry. Connor Sherry just holding. Stepping to the slot. And he fed one off. Got it back again, trying to finesse through Gudas, and Gudas is able to take it over. Flopped it along. Patrick works further. Then back out to center, and it's Schultz yet again. 4:40 gone, first period of play. Some spirited action here in terms of offensive attack. That one scaled back out to center where it's gloved by Schultz, picked off and darted back by Filppula. So now Manning. Guided along and taken by Wheel. Jordan Wheel let it on back. Brought on and shot. Score! What a shot! Leveled by Sanheim. His second of the year, the first in this game, and the Flyers have struck.
Well, we've seen the Philadelphia Flyers have really good entries and find the late man, and here's an example of a real good entry, chip chase, and then eventually Jordan Wheel's going to find Travis Sanheim coming in off the bench. He breaks down the end zone coverage, and that's a rifle shot up and over the glove of Matt Murray.
And of course you got Wayne Simmons in front of the net, two Flyers driving down the middle of the ice. That opens things up, and a terrific shot here from Sanheim.
And Mike, I wonder if this doesn't chip off of Derek Brassard's stick. Let's see, Brassard's going to get a stick in the lane. and that might have even accelerated the elevation of that puck even a little bit more, but Philadelphia's done a nice job entering the zone and finding the late man.
So Murray sets this up, long pass ahead, Hornquist pokes it back in and goes in after it. Rams into McDonald, tries to jam it loose. It's up the wing. A stiff check thrown by Alexiak, but now a 2-on-1 back the other way. Konechny to the outside, able to swat it around behind. Couturier couldn't get there ahead of the reach that came from Letang, but now taken away again. Wheeling to the outside, Konechny, a rising shot, and that hit a glass support and popped down. Now Alexiak, then Crosby, a pass too far, goes down, and there'll be no icing.
Like being an old defenseman, you know if you're going to pinch down, it sure helps to have forwards coming back. Right now, Pittsburgh's trying to pinch. The forwards aren't helping out.
Rolled on back, Mata to play it there, then Malkin, then popped back out again by Carl Hagelin, and this one stripped on further to be played along by Manning. Manning stoked it, reacting there is Gudas, and then played back by Ruhwedel. Now Hagelin walks on. Carl Hagelin controlling. Has Rust nearby and then misfired for the point. Simmons get the assist on Sandheim's second. 5:03 elapsed time of the first was the time the goal was scored. Retreating to play is the goal scorer. He hands it on around, and a crisp pass comes on to Filppula. Misfired there for Wheel, and we get a stoppage of play and an offside pass. 6:43 gone, first period of play. Travis Sandheim, the first celebration of the day. 1-0 Philip.
You spray. You trip. You're gold. Smell fresh all day with new Axe Gold Body Spray.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est un tag assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà! Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Old Spice fake resistant scent uses science to make you smell as good as the first time, every time. Forever.
Sidney Crosby, a very young man there, was he not, when he was drafted in 2005, named captain of the Penguins at age 19. He is now 30. Three-time Stanley Cup champ, two-time Olympic gold medalist with Canada. 1,100 plus points before the age of 31. Only 10 others have done that. And there he is with 7 points in 3 games against the Flyers. In his career, 91 points in 62 regular season games against the Flyers. That's more than he scored against any other team, and that's more than the Flyers have had scored against him by any current player. It is Letang, but it is Simmons. Save made and a cover by Matt Murray.
Well, we just saw Wayne Simmons put a puck on goal, and Brian Dumoulin will remember Wayne Simmons just before he went to the TV timeout. Clean, hard, physical, open ice play by Wayne Simmons, and he's just setting the tone for this huge 3-game road trip for the Philadelphia Flyers. They play here, then they go to Dallas, then they go into Colorado. A massive trip for the Flyers, and then a veteran like Simmons trying to set the tone.
Off this face-off, a shot is sealed up by Murray from Sean Couturier. Couturier of the 30-goal year that he has had. My goodness.
It really is amazing. Plus a plus 26, Doc. That's just, it's not just his scoring. He's plus 26. He's playing against the other team's best players every night.
And I don't think anybody saw that coming. And what a development over the course of just one season.
Floated on back, kept alive by Claude Giroux. Couturier playing there. Couturier drifting behind the net, angled it on back. Provorov turns, Giroux a shot and a bad block made there by Matt Murray. Jammed on further in traffic. It comes back to Provorov again. His attempt went off of Hornquist. Hornquist tried to battle it across. It kicked over, and the play is made to Crosby. Here's Crosby with a shot, and that directed wide by Provorov. Crosby nicely darts through, then heads and throws one off the frame that bounced on around, and Ruedel tried to punch it further. In the way, Konechny swung over by Giroux, rescued there, and nicely fiddled along, and further by Gostisbehere. Then Konechny chased back out again by Ruedel. Meanwhile, the Flyers in the midst of a change. The Penguins have already done so, getting Evgeny Malkin out there. Pass directed across, turning was Hagelin, floated it further, Malkin got there, jabbed it across, carried in by Russ. Russ flips and it's directed on goal one-handedly by Hagelin and blocked off by Lyon. Taken then by Russ, floated for Malkin, couldn't get it there, outlet by Lindblom, led up the wing for Voracek. Voracek got it across, but the bouncing puck was a tough one. And then it is Russ, but he can't get out with it now. Fed back, Voracek, a shot save made by Murray.
Mike Sullivan can't be happy with the way his team's playing defensively. I mean, you got guys pinching, you got no forwards coming back, you're getting odd man rushes against. He cannot be happy at all with this, Mike.
No, he's not. And the turnovers, the Flyers are quicker to lose pucks. Look at the action in front. There's no real definition of whose man is whose there. I think they've been dopey early on, and the Flyers have been a much quicker, much more motivated team.
Absolutely agree. The urgency level on the Flyer bench, you can sense it. You really don't feel anything right now from the Penguins bench at all.
These two teams are separated by just 2 points in the standings. Neither team has clinched a playoff spot yet. Only Nashville, Tampa Bay, and Boston have. Led to the back now, Letang. There could be a couple to join them before the end of the day, but those are the only three with 2 weeks left in the season that know that the playoff tickets won't be thrown away. They are going to be used. Across it comes now for Laterra. Wanted to work further. Letang said no and forced the hand of Sandheim. Nearing the halfway point of the first period. Game of the week, the NHL on NBC. Sandheim, the scorer of the only goal, floats it in, fixes his bayonet, goes right after it, is hit by a pair, but meanwhile is spun around behind by Scott Watt. Taken along further now and wanting to work it along his wheel. Meanwhile, reinforcements come from the bench. Simmons spots one of those, but can't get it to Gostisbehere. It's floated back up by Sherry and stepping on into the Broussard. He scores!
Wow, what a great pass on to Sherry. With a little alley-oop shot to Derek Broussard to set him free. Watch right here over the defenders. They can't even get the high stick on it, and he's off to the races. Broussard, and what a shot past Alex Lyon.
And that's why they went out and got Broussard supplemental offense from a deck position, and that is an elite shot by a real good player, Derek Broussard. But I love your point, Mike. Connor Sherry up and over the old alley-oop, and off to the races goes Broussard.
So now, 'tis even. Gudas back to play. Cross-bodied by Hornquist. It's squirted free for Manning. Connects with Konechny. And he looks ahead. That one bounced over for Giroux. Played along by Giroux. And on a delayed offside that is now wiped, it is sent back ahead. Gensel and then Schultz. And then ahead now to Hornquist. Hornquist to Crosby, and the shot is waffled away to the corner glass by Alex Lyon. Connecting him and started ahead. Gets it back across on the return from Couturier, but it's sent over to Crosby and a long toss, and here comes Gensel moving in. Gensel had it spiked away by Manning, and a good play. Sherry and Kessel get the assists on the goal by Brassard. At 9:38, that has tied this game. The bouncer goes back, a race is on for it, and Mata is able to prevail, and all of this is offside anyway. Well, what do you think so far? It's pretty good, isn't it? 1-1 is the score. It was first Sandheim, now Brassard, even in Pittsburgh.
You spray. You trip. You're gold. Snow fresh all day with new Axe Gold Body Spray.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est un tag assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Spice.
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 Old.
We make sense for men.
At this point.
Well, no, we've given up some odd man rushes early on in the game. These guys do a really good job utilizing that speed underneath. We got to make sure that we reload, we track hard. We got to work to get above people.
I know there are not a lot of secrets between the two teams. Are you showing everything you have to show, or are you just worrying now about getting your team ready for the playoffs?
Well, we're just trying to get better every game we play. We're trying to win each game that's right in front of us. So, you know, the nature of the games this time of year, the stakes are high. We're trying to win that one game right in front of us.
BU, Michigan, quick. BU. Thank you, Mike. All right.
Fans do not like the call of an offside.
It was extraordinarily close, but it is the right call. Good job by the linesman.
Michel Farmy and Derek Amell, two of the better linesmen in the league, right on that one.
So they will go out to try again, Malkin and Rust. See if the combination works better. Hagelin, the other winger, up against Valtteri Filppula, Jordan Wheel, and Wayne Simmons. It's always interesting when the top two lines go up against one another. This is dropped back for a shot. Score! Brandon Manning with a rifle, and it is 2-1 Philadelphia. 2 goals from defensemen.
It's been a much better season productively for the defenseman from the Philadelphia Flyers. Pierre pointed it out on the first goal. Sandheim jumps up. You're going to get the same thing here from Manheim. Weak coverage by the Penguins on the back check, and shot here by Manning that just goes to the glove side low of Matt Murray, who can't quite track it down.
The transition defense of the Pittsburgh Penguins not nearly good enough. Mike Sullivan talked about getting their team better every single game. One of the major point of emphasis after this period, get your butts back if you're a forward, because right now the defense are just getting hung out to dry. They really are.
Sidney Crosby just went back and gave Matt Murray a tap on the pads. Matt has described his play since coming back from the concussion. 0-1-1, has described his play as average. A 9 and a 6. 15 games he has missed due to injury, and the 9 was because of a concussion, and fighting back from those as anyone who has had one will tell you it's not as simple as just stepping back out on the ice and playing. But at any rate, at the other end, Crosby will try to win a draw from Couturier. One to the back, set by Dumoulin, shot by Schultz, and that went off of Hornquist, who was near the front of the net. Lobbed on back, and Dumoulin is there to get it.
Philadelphia goal.
Earlier in the day, Mike showed you both Simmons and Hornquist as we get an icing, and how they set up shop at the front of the net and are very productive because of it. We'll tell you to get closer to the game with the NBC Sports app. Watch live on any device and dive deeper into the game with player info, stats, and more. Download the app and find out more at NBCSports.com/live. It was when Barry Trotz was coaching at Nashville, he described Hornquist as a guy who seems to always fall on top of your goal. And of course, he would know pretty well, because Hornquist spent 6 years playing for Nashville. Angled ahead, and this one careened back where Schultz would get it.
Pretty good for Mr. Irrelevant, Patrick Hornquist. Last guy taken in the 05 draft. Not a bad career.
And he had the cup clincher last year in Nashville for Pittsburgh. Carl Hagelin sealed it up with an empty netter in Game 6. Back ahead it is Sanheim throwing it around. Jammed around behind, and it can be swept further. Playoffs begin 2 weeks from Wednesday. If it were beginning tonight, it would be the Penguins against Columbus, Philadelphia against Washington. But this is a possible first-round matchup here. And it is still mathematically possible that neither of them could get in, but their fans don't want to even entertain that.
I don't think anybody wants to entertain Columbus either, Doc.
Only 10 wins in the last 11 for John Tortorella's club, and that 10-game winning streak ended last night because St. Louis has now won 5 in a row, and today has the second wild card in the West.
Imagine that a week ago. Everybody was writing them off. St. Louis, Mike Gill and his group, a lot of credit goes there. They've worked their tails off.
Costas Bear plays ahead. Manning able to flip a bouncer that goes back in and winds up becoming an offside. Progressive Insurance takes you inside the glass. Here's Pierre.
Thanks a lot, Doc. There's a lot of different ways to manufacture offense in the National Hockey League. Philadelphia looks like they've got the remedy for today. They're sensing the pinching of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they're creating chances off the rush from those aggressive pinches. You see all the times they're incorporating their defense into the cycle, into the rush, and in transition, and it's leading to goal-scoring opportunities and goals. 2 goals by defensemen. Here's a second one off the stick of Brandon Manning. Pittsburgh got to do a better job coming back in transition. What a job by Philadelphia incorporating their defense into the offense.
Jordan Wheel with a couple of assists here in this first period, both primary assists. After having 2 points in the previous 17 games, he's gotten 2 in the first period. This force back out to center where Manning will give it across. Ratko Gudas connects on, hoping for Voracek. Voracek, one of the top 3 assist guys in the league. His teammate, Claude Giroux, is one of the others. This one is iced for no apparent reason, but I guess oftentimes it doesn't look.
Doc, I loved your point on Jordan Wheel. He was a massive point producer when he played for the Regina Pats. He was drafted by the Los Angeles Kings when Ronnie Hextall, the current general manager of the Flyers, was in Los Angeles, and he spent a lot of time in Manchester where Ronnie was the general manager. And that was a pretty slick acquisition. They got Jordan Wheel from LA for Vinny LeCavalier and Luke Shen. And I can tell you, I could say Wheel is going to be one of those players that they'll be happy to have when it comes to depth scoring in the playoffs.
He is 40 in white. This is held now by Letang and handed on for Malkin. Thrown on by Letang, swirled around for McDonald. Punched it, but right back to him off of Rust, and so it's Sanheim again. Sanheim off the glass. Letang couldn't stop. Carried on by Simmons with Wheel ahead, but he can't get it there because of Alexiak. Jammed on back into some traffic by Hagelin. Fielded there and started ahead by Letang. Hagelin brings it on, has Rust nearby, forces it in, and comes to the bench for a change in lines. 5.5 to go here in the first period. Led back over for McDonald. Hands it on to Travis Konechny. Got it hung up in the linesman's skates. And so McDonald turns, fed one along that went off of Schultz. He recovers at center and gives over to Dumoulin. Now it's Gensel. Got it on to Crosby for a shot that is just held to the chest by Lyon. Brandon Manning has gotten his 7th, his team's 2nd of the game, and it gives them a 1-goal lead again.
You spray. You trip. You're gold. Smell fresh all day with new Axe Gold Body Spray.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est une tag assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Pardonne-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Old Spice fake resistant scent uses science to make him smell as good as the first time, every time. Forever.
By Progressive. Break away and score big with great savings. Visit Progressive.com. And by AT&T. The famous sleeveless uniform worn proudly by Roberto Clemente, number 21. And that statue brought ahead now by Dumoulin. Dumoulin got it on, gets to the shot, the pad stop, and then Lyon goes down. The stick of Hornquist remarkably tied up in his equipment. Thrown around to the front, and that one spiked wide. But we're going to get a penalty coming up against the Penguins. Turning his palm up toward the referee is Dumoulin, waving his palm further to protest, but he will go to the box.
And another odd man rush. In fact, there's been 4 or 5 now 2-on-1s for the Philadelphia Flyers. And this one, Blue Moon gets caught with a hook right there. And Couturier beats him to the front of the net. Just misses on the redirection. To the power play we go. Pittsburgh's been having a little bit of difficulty on the kill lately, Doc. We need to be sharp right now.
Power play presented by the Lincoln Motor Company. 8 buckles in the last 20 attempts at killing off penalties for the Penguins. And that is really rare and a really poor percentage. Sounds like 40% have been scored upon. So that from 100 would be 60% penalty kill. Class, you want to check me on this? Here's Gostisbehere across. Around behind, and it comes back up the boards now. Swept by Giroux, punched by Gostisbehere. It came out near the front. Simmons was working for it. Given back by Giroux, and then back to Gostisbehere again. Handed on across to Voracek. Loves to shoot from there. Loves to quarterback from there. What does he do? He passes back Gostisbehere. Wristed one, and that turned aside by Matt Murray, and then cleared back down. Flyers have been remarkable choir boys. They have gotten 41 more power plays than they have had to kill off this year. That never happened before. Here is Patrick, and a save is made by Murray, and it's cleared.
Eric Furlap checking with Matt Murray to see if he's all right there off that hot stick of Nolan Patrick.
Yeah, right off the top of the shoulder pad, Pierre, and he looked like he did feel it.
Hunched over there, but not showing anything obvious that would want to cause concern for the Penguins. Meanwhile, Provorov is able to give this one back across in the last 25 of this power play. Patrick had trouble settling that one down. Patrick dropped it back. This is Mata getting it on now for Hagelin to clear back down. 2 shots on goal for the Flyers on this power play. To the last 10. 3 minutes to go, first period. Flyers have had 2 1-goal leads. This one is shuffled along too far for Laterra. Settled down by Murray and fired back around by Dumoulin. Then kept alive for a shot directed right on goal. And Murray was able to stop that. A good combination set up there. But Matt Murray got it.
Another opportunity for the Philadelphia Flyers. Letang tries to clear the puck. He can't do it. They keep it alive, and just a quick redirection down low off the stick of Yuri Laterra.
Yeah, and sometimes goalies can feel shell-shocked, and this is why. Right up top of the mask, he's had a bunch of those this season, and shakes it off and goes back to work.
Remember, goalies used to have that dangling piece that would drop down to protect the Adam's apple, and it looked like it was in that general area where that hit. There's going to be a penalty coming up against the Flyers here now. It's turning with this as Malkin wanted to clear the point, but it was interrupted by Couturier, and the #1 power play in the league is about to swing into action with a chance to get this tied up.
Well, they caught him this time, Doc and Mike. You see Sean Couturier coming in with his stick right there on Brian Rust. But earlier, I want you to watch this. We didn't get a chance to go to it. Watch center ice, 14 in white and orange. Watch what he does with the butt end of his stick. That's how he creates separation on Dumoulin, and that eventually gets Dumoulin a penalty. Mike, that little butt end trick, that was big when you played.
Did pretty effectively right there.
So the power play, brought to you by the Lincoln Motor Company, is 3 for the last 11 over a 5-game span. 48 of the goals on the power play have been connected on by guys that are out there right now. And they've scored 61. So these are all the big collectors that are on the ice right now. Malkin and Crosby and Schultz and Kessel and Hornquist. It is kept by Kessel. Kessel worms his way along, tried to connect across with Malkin. No luck. Lifted by Filppula, guided on, but into traffic by Laterra. And then it's Gudas, and he's able to send it down.
They need Phil Kessel shooting that puck there, Mike. They don't need Phil Kessel being a distributor there. They need him shooting.
It is Schultz bringing it on, dropping it on back for the take by Kessel. Ripped it on for Crosby, dropped it off to Malkin, returns, but through Crosby, though Hornquist. Hornquist dug it out, able to peel on back, guides it on the backhand and around it swirls to Kessel. Off a Flyer skate boot, it must be played by Schultz, and it becomes an offside with 44 seconds still to go on the power play. Malkin 14 power play goals, Hornquist 13, Kessel 10, Crosby only 8.
You know what? And they make a change. It must be hard for Mike Sullivan to actually make those guys come to the bench. Stay out there for the full 2, boys. They're fun to watch.
I remember you had a player number 77 in Boston. You used to tell him that all the time, didn't you, Mike?
Came and went whenever he pleased. Great work.
Yes.
False start on the face-off. And so Derek Brassard and Valtteri Filppula presumably will get another chance at it. And the Penguins have it with 40 to go on the power play and 1:15 to go in this first period. Letang connects with Brassard, who sailed into the corner board. Fed to the back, Letang. Off of Gensel, the high glass to Sherry, Pools there. Lost by Manning, but cleared back down by McDonough. A shotless power play thus far, and it's only got 12 seconds to go. Letang able to motor back out. Swept it on back, Brassard connects to no one in particular. Walked back out by Matt Reed, and Reed able to play it on through. And it winds up becoming an offside. Tonight, the new season of Timeless has hit the ground running and is more stylish and inventive than ever. Join the adventure. Timeless tonight on NBC.
Guys in the Philadelphia bench are wondering how Ole Mata doesn't maybe get something for cross-checking right there.
A kind of breed of Philadelphia Flyer, Doc.
It's true.
history has changed. And we are going to get a penalty now, and it's going to be against the Flyers, as rushing ahead with it is Rust in the last 17. Here's Rust accelerating around behind on the delayed call. Sent one along that is touched by the Flyers, and so a carryover power play unless the Penguins score here in the 11.9 that remain.
Well, we saw Mata not get called for a cross-check. This is a cross-check, and they don't miss this one at all. Jake Voracek's going to come over. Hagler's going to come up high with the hit. Voracek's not going to like it. Little punch, and then that one, and that one, and then that one.
Okay, I don't mind a little bit of violence in the sport, Doc, but that's a simple retaliation. That's a selfish penalty. You got to take care of business some other way. And if you're going to go all the way.
I'm with you.
Thank you.
Schultz ahead. Crosby back. Kessel on. And so there will be over power play time of 1:49. And we will consider in the Lexus Intermission Report with Liam, JR, and Keith, the Flyers generating offense from the defense. And now only Nashville has more goals by defensemen than they do. The Panthers chasing the wild card and the streaking Blues in the playoff push. And more further thoughts about violence. Anyway, the course of that first period, 14 shots Flyers, 6 shots Penguins, 2-1 Philly at the end of one.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est un tag assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Spice. Old. Spice. Old. Spice.
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 Old.
We make sense for men.
Vote for your favorite community starting March 30th at crafthockeyville.ca. Vote for your favorite community starting March 30th at crafthockeyville.ca. Vote for your favorite community starting March 30th at crafthockeyville.ca.
Travis Sanheim buries his second goal of his young NHL career. Later, Brandon Manning hammers home his 7th of the season. The Flyers have 46 goals by D-men. That is the most they have produced since 92-93 when they had a franchise record 52 of them. It's 2-1 as we welcome you into the Lexus Intermission Report. Liam McHugh, Jeremy Roenick, and Keith Jones. Before the game, we heard from Claude Giroux. He admitted that the Pens' pace had given them problems throughout the season. First period, at times, Flyers look faster. They didn't suddenly get faster. So how are they making this happen?
They were very aggressive, no doubt about that. Their defense were jumping in and joining the rush, and they cheated a little bit on the first line change on the Sanheim goal. Watch how aggressive they are. Sanheim's got his leg over the boards. He's ready to get out there. That's a good sign for a young player. You want him showing the want to get out. Here he is, always out, and it's 30 feet away where Radko Gudas, the defenseman, is. Look at this one, 44.5 feet when Manning's heading over. McDonald jumps on. Sanheim heads down the ice and scores a terrific goal. Very aggressive. It's a great shot. It's a big goal, but they got away with one there.
Well, in the second goal, the defense were right in there again. There's Manning, but watch Malkin do a flyby. You can't do this when you're the last man high. Manning jumps into the play. He gets a puck. This is what I love that he did. Watch this. He looks around, sees what's there, because he's not going to call for that puck unless he knows he has time. He does. Malkin, because of that big swing, can't get back to stop the play. What a great play by both defense. We talked about using their offense and bringing their D into the offense as much as they can with speed. Well, they did it that period, and it ended up in 2 goals by defensemen and a 2-1 lead. Great period by the Flyers.
Pens have been so good at home. What stood out about their game in the first?
Their skill, and it just takes a split second, and they can turn the game on its end. And there's no question this is one of the prettier goals you'll see, and it's all about the pass from Connor Sherry, the high flip, and Derek Brassard's off to the races. His 3rd goal as a Pittsburgh Penguin. That's good news moving forward. They need him sniping.
Yeah, what's bad news, though, for the Flyers is Pittsburgh is on the power play to start this second period. They have to stay out of the box. The Pens have the number.
Long off.
First time, but it gets an immediate second crack on the Voracek cross-checking penalty. And we begin. Schultz and Malkin, Kessel, Hornquist, and Crosby. Gudas is back defensively to watch Crosby. And across, one-timer is shrugged away by Lyon on the try from Malkin. Kept alive by Hornquist, then sent back to Schultz, rescued there by Kessel. Finessed on back to Schultz, walks it across. Then Kessel, quickly punched off Malkin. Schultz, Kessel again. Then side of the net, Hornquist.
Mike talked about Jake Voracek taking a selfish penalty. Usually when you do that, it's bad karma. And it's great puck movement by the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's tape to the back of the net by Patrick Hornquist. Not a lot of resistance by Radko Gudas. And bad rotation down low, Mike.
And he makes himself available, though, does Hornquist. And a quick turnaround shot fools Lyon right here, who goes down. But this one just off the goalpost. Got ourselves a tie, and Philadelphia pays a heavy price for the Voracek penalty.
Kessel and Schultz get the assist on Hornquist's 24th goal and his 14th power play goal. Bit of a lecture being delivered there by John McIsaac, the referee, to Simmons. Seemed like more so than Shea. But at any rate, back to a tie once again. Ryan sets, fired around by Sanheim, ricocheted out, lifted on by Letang. Backhand grab and a plop down by Lyons.
You have to think Mike Sullivan was probably a little bit irate after the first period, and clearly he got his players' attention.
Hornquist is 24 from Kessel and Schultz on the power play.
Directed on back by Brassard. You think some of that black and gold paint might have peeled a little bit?
Yeah, I think he was giving him the weather, not the news. You know what I mean, Doc? There's probably some spittle flying out of his mouth. I don't think that was a very soft conversation.
Well, 12:33 face-off, and the visitors were ready to go. Meanwhile, along with this now, Sherry threw it across, but off of Lyon as Crosby was waiting there. Crosby fed, then along Gensel, getting a piece of it was Lyon, chopped off the outside of the cage, dug out there, but lost by Filppula. And again, it's taken on by Rust. Penguins seem to have warmed to the task here, haven't they? Rust wiped out, working along Simmons, trying to jam it away from him. But it came across now to Dumoulin. Dumoulin able to step free, shooting one wide of the long side. A penalty coming up against the Flyers. On back to Dumoulin yet again. Then it across to Schultz. Extra man just over the boards is Malkin, who bunted it on and got it back again. Then it's bunted back by Crosby on to Schultz. Returns to Crosby. Then to Malkin. Threw one around in front. Malkin yet up with it again. Gives it on to Rust. Then on back on this delayed call to Dumoulin to Crosby. Threw one around. It comes to the outside. Crosby can't get it by. Now it's Malkin. Gets the tap from Dumoulin. Through Dumoulin, plays it off the boards. Continuing on this delay, and the fans like it. Malkin fakes, moves, shoots, scores!
Well, that guy clearly got their attention, and he knows it. Great precision by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Passive box by Philadelphia. Jordan Wheel, the man that took the delayed penalty, number 40. He's passive, and then he gets walked to the inside. And then the screen down low by Andrew MacDonald. And Malkin finds the back of the net, Mike.
Oh, it's amazing how the original power play just spurred the Penguins on. The momentum change was palpable on the ice. They were in the zone for a good 45 seconds before the delayed call. Now we're going to get ourselves a goaltending change. I'm not sure Lyon was the guy responsible for the problems here, but you could feel it. You could feel the offensive thrust of the Penguins coming. Can't give them that kind of opportunity. They seized it. They seized the momentum, and now the lead.
And I think more than anything else, Dave Haxall's making this change. He doesn't want to waste his time out. Get Mrazek in the game. It's going to be a long road trip, and make your players feel a little bit of shame. They didn't come here to start the second period the way they started the first.
Rushed on through and chased down by Gostisbehere. Penguins with their first lead of the game on Malkin's 42nd. The most goals in the league, Alexander Ovechkin is often in that position, and today is yet again with 44. Patrick Laine of Winnipeg, 43, and Malkin now at 42. Drive, and that one is set aside by Mrazek. And then it is forced around now for Gostisbehere. Schultz and Dumoulin get the assist on Malkin's goal. It was a 6-on-5 goal on a delayed penalty call. So now Sherry, and that one deflected up high and off the boards to be played by Brassard, but then by Gudas, and all the way down. And icing. The push for the Stanley Cup playoffs is in full swing, and every point counts. Stay on top of all the latest results every game night with NHL Tonight on NHL Network. Peter Mrazek arrived in a deal with Detroit a little over a month ago, is suited up for all 17 games. He has started 12 in that time. A busy guy with Brian Elliott and Michael Neuvert still injured. Dave Haxall, the coach, told Mike and Pierre and me before the game they hope to have them back before the end of the season. No guarantees. Manning a shot, and that one through traffic was kicked out by Murray and can be carried back up by Brassard and forced back in. So now Manning with the long toss. That is flagged down by Kuhnhackl. Kuhnhackl able to step back in, tried to one-handed by Manning. This one is lifted into more traffic, and Kuhnhackl, the big man, able to burrow by, but then it's taken away behind. And then Kuhnhackl with the burial that time on Gudas. Up the boards, it is forced on back, and Gudas has to flip further. This one went up high and popped down near Dumoulin, dug out there and flung back in deep by Lindblom. Played on further by Sheahan, and then Kuhnhackl, and again. In the regular season, 3 prior games, Penguins have won them all. The one here was the only one that was really close, and that wound up going to overtime before Crosby won it in a big comeback by his team. Here's a shot by Laterra that was right on goal, and Murray stopped it.
And in every one of those games, Pittsburgh scored 5 goals in every single one of those games, Doc.
They have come up with some big performances when it comes to getting goals. In 15 of the last 35, they've gotten 5 or more. In total goals, they are 7th out of the league of 31 teams. This one is gloved down now by Rush. Handed on to Crosby, and a bad angle shot was up high on Mrazek, who has to react quickly again, and then Crosby around behind. Forced off of him, though. Provorov did a good job from behind, and this is punched back in by Simmons, who goes in after it with Mata. Two of them along the boards. Perhaps the cancellation here is coming along as Filppula, but taking it is Gensel. Gensel flung it across. Crosby got it there. Wristed a bouncer. And it is sent wide by Gensel, who was able to see a couple of players cancel, and it came to him. Now Rust a shot, and that one is stifled. Sent back out near Wheel. Defending him is Ruhwedel. As Wheel tries to get by, Ruhwedel says no and goes after the loose one.
Subtle little line change by Mike Sullivan. Brian Rust on this line instead of Patrick Hornquist. It's been that way for 2 straight shifts here in the second period.
It was a combination that we saw some in the last game against New Jersey. And we're sort of expecting to see until we saw the warm-up before the game tonight when they were as they were. Onto the back now for a shot by Manning that is blocked around in front by Mata. Then Mata tumbles down as this comes along behind. And Alexiak is chased off, and a good job by connecting. Then it is to Giroux. Led to the back now to Gudas, and a shot. And that one turned back out again, and sprawling and stacking the pass. And then making another stop is Matt Murray. Then another shot, and Murray got that one too. And a long toss goes past Hornquist and down. No icing on the play. This time, there will be icing against Philadelphia. 7:02 gone in the second, and the Penguins have struck twice here in 2 minutes' time in the second to take the lead.
Matt Murray has got to be the man for Pittsburgh Penguins, and you know the goal scoring for the Penguins helps give them a little confidence. He comes back here with some pretty good saves, pretty good action around the front of the net. I thought at times he's been off his angle, maybe down a little bit prematurely, but he's trying to fight his way through it. The great offense of the Pittsburgh Penguins with 3 goals already and a couple of a power play and a odd man situation gives him a little bit of a cushion and a little bit of a confidence builder, I think, for Murray, who tries to find his way back to that excellent level that led him to 2 Stanley Cups over the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, working with a new goalie coach who was here last year, Mike Buckley, who had him in the American Hockey League in Wilkes-Barre. Mike Bales, the former goalie coach for Pittsburgh, now moved down to Carolina. So lots of little subtle things happening for the Pittsburgh Penguins that are a little different.
Malkin stashed it across. Hornquist handed it over. Hagelin able to take it on the bounce for Malkin. Evgeny Malkin wheeling to the outside. Got it on the Letang, and a shot was directed wide as Hornquist didn't get a piece of that one. Meanwhile, battled for and trying to push it along with Dumoulin. Hornquist covering up, though. And the follow-up now comes from Nolan Patrick. Patrick able to jam it back in. Took an obligatory tap from Hornquist. So Dumoulin all the way back. And it's Gostisbehere. But cut off and steered in by Malkin. Malkin sets it up. Kessel a shot and a save made by Mrazek. Back to offense come the Flyers. Marching back on with it is Scott Laughton. Got it up the wing. Right around in front, and a shot ricocheted off of the netminder Matt Murray from Voracek. Carried back up by Brassard. Led back across to Sherry. Holds. Fed it through, but it was behind the breaking Kessel. Gostisbehere fired it off the glass, and this one trickles back down. Will it be an icing? No. Good hustle there by Laterra. Jam back on by Schultz. Right back up to Sherry. Sherry wanted to force, but a turnover caused there, and a battle ensues, and it winds up becoming an offside. 11:26 to go in the second period of play. For Hornquist, his 24th. For Malkin, his 42nd, third best in the league. 3-2 Penguins.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est une tag assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Prends-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate.
New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash.
Vote for your favorite community starting March 30th at crafthockeyville.ca.
Now see Claude Giroux in the 06 NHL draft. Looking very young there. Finished top 3 in league scoring twice in 12 and 14. Most assists in the NHL since 2010 and 11. That's a current number. 5th place in the Flyers in all-time points, considering some of the players they've had in a little over half a century. That is noteworthy. And the shift from center to wing has looked really good. He is only 2 short in terms of goals in tying a number that he's had twice. So he's near a career high, and we still have 2 weeks to go. And the assists are just off the charts. Work back up to Giroux. Giroux fed it through and right on goal and stopped by Matt Murray. Through right after this to the outside now Konechny, but that ricocheted off Gensel, slipped it on to Crosby, returns to Gensel. Gensel dropped it on for Crosby, but it went on through, and Schultz recovered, got it to Crosby with an opening, then to Hornquist. It was poked away by Couturier and then fed by Crosby and back down. So Matt Murray here as the Penguins scored at 37 seconds and at 2:37 of this period. One a power play and one virtually a power play on a delayed penalty call. Lobbed on ahead, and this one slowed down now and played back in by Lindblom. Around it comes toward the corner where it can be worked on by Voracek, but spirited ahead by Malkin, but into some traffic. And jammed on out near Ratko Gudas, who just bashed it back in. Malkin able to slip it ahead. Hornquist takes a look, and Hagelin magically in a path where he could be passed to, but Hornquist decides to lob it first. Going in with Gudas was Hagelin, and then it's thrown right out in front for a quick shot by Hornquist that is stopped and held by Mrazek. Bit of a crowd gathered. 2018, peace restored.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est un tac assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate. New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Old Spice fake resistant scent uses science to make him smell as good as the first time, every time. Forever.
Vote for your favorite community starting March 30th at crafthockeyville.ca.
was playing?
Well, it's a little bit of both. We obviously not a good start to the second period for us. We gave them a free power play, which you can't do against this team at the end of the first period, and they carried that into momentum here to start the second period. So we need a little momentum change. Peter Mrazek can go in and provide that for us, and now we got to get out and get skating again.
Thanks for your time, Coach, and have a great road trip.
Thank you.
We mentioned earlier the Flyers had one stretch that was really rough on them, and another that was just that was very impressive. Almost all the teams in the league have had that this year. This one is jammed toward the corner and ricocheted around now to Brassard. Tried to feed one in front, and Mrazek is able to clomp his glove down on that. The Penguins at one point had won 11 of 21. That's just barely 500. And right out of that, they went 10-3-1. Then they won 6 in a row. Then they lost 3 in a row. Lately, they've won 6 of 10. And if you document those things with almost all the teams, even Arizona, who has had a strong stretch lately, everybody seems to have those. It's only the Nashvilles and Bostons and Tampa Bays that you see that don't have much of it. It's all positive most. This one forced back in now, and it's Simmons reaching for it and punching it along with Letang. Dealt back to him by Brassard. He tucks it behind now, and it's walked on by Alexiak. Filppula met by Alexiak, and then Wheel. Plopped right back in again, and Letang went to play that. And he just wheels one that goes on out to center for Brassard. Hands off to Kessel. Kessel drifting with it now for Brassard. And Brassard glides around behind. Got it out front for a shot that wouldn't go from Kessel. Sounded like it might have glanced off the outside of the net or the goal post. But now it has worked back on now for Simmons and then to Couturier. Shift change on, so Couturier mostly alone, except for McDonald straying on this side to let one go that Schultz was able to punch along. So now it is Rust. Rust wanting to accelerate, able to get by around the ground, but he couldn't shove it past Mrazek. Forced along by McDonald, taken further by Sanheim, and then eventually it comes to center where Schultz is able to bang it back in. 8:20 to go, second period. A one-goal game. So then McDonald, off a Penguin stick, but ahead now for the play back in by Nolan Patrick. To Assad. Fifth man reaching in is Crosby, trying to jam it free. And back out. A lot of work. Both teams are going to take this opportunity to change lines. Mostly the Penguins this time, as Lindblom's still out there. And he's able to guide it ahead to Jake Voracek, who's arrived. Voracek just pivoting, and then he's able to walk one on the backhand back to the corner, where it's read by Mata and handed on to Ruhwedel. Taken on by Kuhnhackl and dropped back in. The rest of the Penguins will change now, and a couple of Flyers. Meanwhile, battled for and taken along by Shan, but tied up immediately by Ratko Gudas. Both teams after today with 6 games left. 3 at home and 3 away. None against each other. Forced around behind, and galloping to this is Scott Laughton, but arriving is Alexiak, and the bigger man with the longer reach prevailed. Alexiak able to take it through one that skipped on back and must be played back further by Chris Letang. All this time, and 88 points for the Flyers, 90 for Pittsburgh. And on the strength of winning 10 of 11, Columbus in the middle with 89. 2, 3, and 4 in the Metropolitan Division.
You know, when you're going to be great, you got to be creative. You got to do things that people don't expect. Watch the number of shots that Crosby takes from below the goal line. Not an impossible angle, but an improbable angle. And every goaltender in the league has come to expect it. They've got to expect the unexpected from Sidney Crosby. And that's 4 or 5 opportunities that he's made look dangerous from behind the goal line. Not many guys can do that.
Nope, you're absolutely right. Ask Henrik Lundqvist of the New York Rangers. Crosby's victimized him so many times from that icing line down low from bad angles.
This one directed up high, and it will go over the glass and thus out of play. One of the other things that Crosby has done here locally, I know we've mentioned it, I think 1 or 2 other times, but again, just 2 weeks ago, he had the opportunity, he and his teammates, to go on the ice with a bunch of kids aged 4 to 8. And the total now over 10 years is 10,000. The number of kids that he has outfitted head to toe with hockey equipment aged 4 to 8 who might not have otherwise known how to play this game or had the experience of playing it. It began 10 years ago, and 1,000 kids a year that get the equipment for nothing and the chance to learn how to play this game. Meanwhile, this is stolen away now and ragged on by Wheel, given on back now to Gostisbehere, shooting one, and it's towed back out by Murray, or this game would have been tied in another one that's guided away by Murray. Now Gostisbehere on back, and it's Filppula, then along to Gostisbehere again. Gostisbehere able to work his way along, and Hornquist right in his shadow. Gostisbehere still. Good work by him, but Hornquist prevailed with the help of Schultz, and finally they were able to lift it back out. The Penguins want to get a change defensively, and they're in the midst of doing that. Having to hop back over the boards after it looked like he was coming out was Ole Mata. Meanwhile, it's turned over to Malkin, gliding to the outside. Malkin fed one to the side to Russ, backhander, scramble in front on the rebound, and the Flyers are able to pick it back up. Giroux dropped it off. Couturier moved it back in. Got it across to Sanheim, and the shot flopped wide and hit the back of the cage. Along to play it, Ruhwedel. Got it off the backhand part of Crosby's stick. Advanced by Mata, on to Gensel. Flopped it on to Mata. Got it back to Gensel again. Let it back over, and it's off Russ' stick. And here come the Flyers. They'll get an odd man rush out of this. Giroux brings it ahead. He's got Couturier. Fed it in front of, and it's puck checked away from Konecny. And back the other way come the Penguins. Moving on in is Crosby around in front. Got it just over the glove hand of Mrazek. And then Crosby sends Konecny down. Meanwhile, it is taken on by Alexiak and handed back for a return pass from Letang. Good action here in the last 5 minutes of the second period of a 3-2 game. Battle of Pennsylvania being led currently by the home team, the Penguins, by 1. Icing is called.
Well, great turnover right there, and Philadelphia's off to the races. Giroux, nice touch pass here, and watch this play by Ruhwedel. Konecny right there, licking his chops on the doorstop, and then Crosby at the other end just misses far side against Mrazek.
Here is Phil Kessel from the faceoff. Got it on for Sherry, and a save made by Mrazek. Rebound bounces around now and battled for, but we get a stoppage of play and a penalty. And the call is a high stick, and it will be Brassard. A power play for the Flyers when we come back.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est une tag assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate. New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash.
Vote for your favorite community starting March 30th at crafthockeyville.ca.
puck out of the air, whiffs on it, and hits Patrick right there, an obvious penalty. But it was Matt Murray who was off to the races, and I thought it was going to be a Pittsburgh power play. That could have been embarrassing.
Yes. You want to be very sure. Easy for me to say. Okay, power play on for the Flyers here, and a chance to knot it up. Voracek gives it across. Gostisbehere played it there. Giroux swung it back in here. Simmons. Bad angle shot. Ricocheted off the goal stick, held by Matt Murray. Dealt back on by Voracek. Swept back by Couturier. Drive by Gostisbehere. Knifed down by Simmons wide. It is Couturier again. Has Simmons behind, scaled it to him. It rattled on around and it's played then by Voracek. Voracek tried to twist it back, intercepted and cleared by Sheahan. The first half minute has passed. Long toss ahead. Voracek gliding ahead with it, gaining the zone. Right back across it comes to Simmons, then Voracek. Knifed away by Alexiak and cleared back down yet again. 2 shots on goal on this power play, and it is Gostisbehere to take it. Lindblom is out there, a change, and Wheel as well. Simmons remains, flopped around in front, and it went just wide. Murray did not see it right away as it bounced wide of him. Jammed along by Simmons, Gostisbehere directing traffic, and he wants his man back there, and that's Giroux, and that's where he got it. Giroux just walks it across, shooting one, directed back down as reaching for it Lindblom. Meanwhile, he's able to grab it around behind. Lindblom talks it back over for the hold by Gostisbehere. Fires! Save, rebound, score! The game is tied. A power play goal for the Flyers. It is Jordan Wheel who has gotten this game tied up.
Special teams. Gostisbehere with a shot here. Of course, you got Simmons in front, attracting attention. It just pops right over to Wheel, and an easy deposit in the bank for him, and we got ourselves a tied hockey game.
Well, the Flyers had a ton of time in the offensive zone. Watch how they got in there. Shane Gostisbehere, you talk about creativity and awareness. Watch what he does to Carl Hagelin right there. That's as good an entry as you're going to see in the National Hockey League. A great job by Gostisbehere, who gets an assist on that goal as well.
First 3-point game for that man, Jordan Wheel. Remember, we showed him close up earlier. He was so upset about things that went against him. He's got 2 primary assists, his 8th goal of the year, his 3rd power play goal, and he's gotten this game tied up 3-3.
And it was a general manager with vision that acquired him. Ronnie Hextall had intimate insider knowledge on that play. Drafted him in LA, and that's why Jordan Wheel's here. A lot of people thought that was a steal for LA. Not so fast.
A shot, my goodness, right in on goal, and out of a scramble, they're trying to poke it home. Couturier, we get a stoppage of play.
Cross-checking coming to the Penguins. Konechny just got hammered down by Brian Dumoulin. Travis Konechny not overly large. Gudas gets the puck to the net, and then watch Dumoulin come right in there from behind with the cross-check. Kind of like Mike in the old days, right, Mike?
I missed them. I just missed them, Doc. That used to be perfectly acceptable. In fact, it was lauded at many quarters.
Yes, it was. It was, but the verb is past tense.
But I don't know why.
You used to be able to run a red light, but now they have these cameras that'll send you a ticket about 14 days later. It's a different era as Giroux wades in on this faceoff. Wheel got the power play goal to get this game tied. Same guys are out there, the number 1 unit, Couturier. Dishes it off now to Voracek. Simmons tripods near the front of the net. Bash back off, and it's Giroux to take. Guided back around, a little tap from Simmons, got it on to Voracek, and Voracek rushed off by Alexiak. Meanwhile, it is Letang, and then around for Carl Hagelin, who scaled it back out.
I got to give a little love to Dave Haxtell. He pulls his goalie, Alex Lyon, and his team has responded much like what Mike Sullivan did after the first period. You know, he wasn't happy. Haxtell wasn't happy, and now his guys are showing they responded after the goalie pulled.
Rushing ahead now with it is Gostisbehere. Dropped it on back to Giroux. Swings it hard around the wall, and Couturier is there. Dropping it back over for Simmons. Turns away from Letang. Simmons sent it back to the point. It is Gostisbehere giving it back. Voracek, a shot. Oh, and a save made remarkably through a screen by Matt Murray.
That's some elite goaltending right there, and it's not so much the initial save, which is great. It's no rebound. Great job by Gostisbehere putting it to Voracek. You see the maze of players. And then the chip up high, Mike, by Couturier. You see Voracek, he identifies the stick of Couturier right there. If there's a rebound, that's at the back of the net. Great job making sure there's no rebound by Matt Murray.
Giroux and Sheehan on this draw. One by the Flyers, taken by Gostisbehere. A minute to go on this power play. Simmons swung it around. Waiting is Giroux. Tied up there by Rust, and Rust clears but not out. Kept by Voracek, handed over to Gostisbehere. Moves in and shoots, getting a piece of it was Murray. Fired back around, and the Flyers will drop back again. Two teams separated by just 2 points in the standings. And as the game has gone on, the emotional stakes seem to have gotten higher. Right back ahead, it is carried on now by Voracek. Given on to Konechny. Feathered on through, Lindblom got it to the back. Handed back across Voracek, around in front, trying to redirect, but failing that time for the Flyers. Voracek with a shot, and that one is nicely blocked and then cleared along by Alexiak. Kunakol able to step ahead with it for the Penguins and drop it back down. Provorov takes it there from Mrazek, and Provorov is able to glide right back out in the last second of this power play. Out of the box, Dumoulin. That shot is directed up into the mesh and out of play.
It wasn't so long ago that Shane Gostisbehere was a little uncertain about his future with the Philadelphia Flyers, but not any longer, boy. He's had a terrific season. Near miss there. Murray just gets a glove on it and watch the entry. You saw Pierre showed you one earlier. Here's another one. Very confident, very cool, very calm and collected, good vision. Really has come a long way in about a year and a half.
29.4 to go in this period as Gudas hurries one. A headhunter that got the glass. And along to take it now is Jake Gensel. Gensel slid it across. Schultz advances it by one. Schultz tried to center, no luck. Taken then by Brassard and fed to the front, but Gensel was tied up there. To the back it comes. Dumoulin a shot, and that one ricocheted off of Laterra and went wide. Around behind, Crosby centered one in front on Gensel with a quick try, and it's sent out in front again as the horn sounds. Pretty interesting. 52 shots, 32 by the Flyers, 6 goals. Coming up on the Discover Card intermission report, Liam, Jeremy, and Keith. Special teams battle. Bergeron back for the Bruins. Stahl's resurgence in Minnesota. Sandheim, Manning, and Wheel. Wheel on the power play. Brassard, Hornquist, and Malkin. Hornquist on the power play. All even again after 2 at 3-3.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est une tague assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate. New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash.
Rise and shine, James. New day, new you. Wow, you showed that gummy who's boss. Get those nutrients. Pumped. Get your micro workout on with Centrum Multi-Gummies. Rise and shine, James. New day, new you. Wow, you showed that gummy who's boss. Get those nutrients. Pumped. Get your micro workout on with Centrum Multi-Gummies.
Sunday, it's Jordan Wheel looking to steal the spotlight. The first three-point game of his career, his power play put back, has this game tied at 3 as we get set for the third. And we welcome you to the Discover Card Intermission Report. Lee McHugh with Jeremy Roenick and Keith Jones. We heard from Dave Haxtell. He sort of understand his frustration. Pens are talented. They're skilled. You're going to take penalties along the way. Certain penalties you can't live with, though?
Yeah, you heard the interview that Haxtell did with Pierre, and he said we gave them one with the Jakob Voracek cross-check retaliation penalty. You can't do that because those are the ones that seem to burn you all the time. And you look at this power play as number one in the league. You have Malkin and Crosby, two of the greatest passers that we've seen in the game. But who's the anchor on that? It's Phil Kessel. And you go back again to what Mike Milbury said before the game. He likes the grinders, the guys that go to those dirty areas, and that's Hornquist. But watch Kessel's little play that he makes. But Hornquist makes a great play. He's in that high traffic area. He moves over to give Kessel a room, an area to put it in the net. He throws it right in the net. That's what Mike Milbury is talking about. Some great work by a great player.
Yeah, and then on the delayed penalty, it's Malkin that takes full advantage of that. The Penguins possessed the puck for 42 seconds when they took the goalie out of the net there. Eventually, Malkin breaks through with the goal. So you can't take penalties. You can't have a delayed penalty against the Penguins either. They're going to make you pay either way.
Penalties leading to goals, but the Flyers, they flipped their goaltender for the third time in the last 6 games. Even though this one is tight, you comfortable with this approach? I know it works here.
Yeah, it was slipping. The game was slipping, and they're down. They're on their third and fourth string goaltenders right now. So Peter Mrazek gets the opportunity to jump back in the net. Lyon removed from this one. It was Mrazek that was taken out of the game against the Red Wings. And he came in here and settled things down. It was 3-2 Pittsburgh at that point. Made a couple of key stops. The Penguins offensively did not have as many A-quality chances, but Mrazek made the saves that he had to before this guy took over.
Yeah, Jordan Wheels had a great game, really heads-up play, but he goes to the net here, and that's why he scored that goal. He wasn't standing out watching. He went to the net, picked up a good rebound, and got a great game here. And you got to talk about Lyon getting pulled. You know, sometimes it's not the goalie's fault. That pull was not because he was playing bad. Just needed a little change of momentum, like you said, Jonesy, get the guys going, because I'm sure they didn't like seeing one of their favorite goaltenders leave the game.
Pens won the first 3. They finished strong in those first 3 as well. Flyers have some questions to answer here.
They do. They do have some momentum, though. That was an important goal by Jordan Wheel. This one has a little different feel to it.
All right, we have a question for all of you at home. Well, do you think you're good at EA Sports NHL18? Well, here's your chance to prove it. You can compete to win your share of $100,000 at the 2018 NHL Gaming World Championship. Register today at NHL.com/gaming. Later tonight, over on NBCSN, Star Sunday continues. Brad Marchand and the Boston Bruins visit the Minnesota Wild and their 39-goal scorer, Eric Stahl. Will preview that matchup after this.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est une tague assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate. New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash.
Spice. Old. Spice. Old. Spice.
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 Old.
We make sense for men.
It's about those times when you think about the future. And that's why we're here. To build a retirement plan that fits you, prepares you, and changes with you. So you can make the most of all those wonderful changes.
You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
think a lot of it is opportunity, the amount, the positions that you're put in, and I was put in a little bit better position the last couple of years, and my minutes have gone up and more power play time. I play with phenomenal players, so they're very talented guys, and they make plays, and I benefit from that.
Brad Marchand, 78 points in 59 games. He's talking about playing with some talented players. Well, good news for him. He's about to welcome back Patrice Bergeron, who is, quote, very likely to play. That's from his coach, Bruce Cassidy. This is after missing a month with a fractured foot. All right, what does that mean for Tampa Bay, for Pittsburgh, for Washington, for Philadelphia, all these other teams in the East?
Well, to be determined, right? We're going to see what happens with Patrice Bergeron. The Boston Bruins, with this guy in the lineup, is an even more deadly of a team. They've already whipped off a bunch of wins and put themselves in the best position they could in the playoffs, but getting a guy back who's one of the best all-around players in the game, and the way that he plays with Marchand, they have such a great chemistry together. Marchand, in the games that Patrice Bergeron missed, 20 points in 12 games. That's absolutely incredible. Imagine how good he's going to be once this player gets back in the lineup.
Yeah, I think it's bad news for the rest of the teams in the Eastern Conference that are going to make the playoffs. I mean, he is that important of a player, but the way Marchand has played, it's a double duo that's going to do a lot of damage when the playoffs roll around.
They're going to be in Minnesota tonight. As for the Wild, they enter the evening third in the Central Division, but wouldn't say they're comfortable, just 2 points ahead of Colorado, 3 up on St. Louis. So let's say Bergeron returns tonight. The Minnesota player he needs to be concerned with
is this guy, Eric Stahl. What a season he's had. You talked about the 39 goals. That's fabulous. Silky smooth. He looks like a very confident player this year. He was last year as well, playing for Minnesota. That's carried forward to an higher level, or that much higher of a level this year. Outstanding, skillful player that can also be a very responsible player at the other end of the ice as well. Has won a Stanley Cup before and gives Minnesota that type of depth that they need. They need players that have been there and done that.
He's just having fun playing the game again. I think that's it's the key to his success this year.
All right, again, Star Sunday continues tonight on NBCSN. Coverage gets underway at 6:30 Eastern. Up next, though, third period action for Pittsburgh. Doc, Mike, and Pierre with the call right after this.
You've been watching the Discover Card.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est une tague assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate. New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash.
The Hyundai Elantra. So, do you have to buy a big car to get a safe car? Not if your car has a super strong superstructure made with advanced high-strength steel, or when it's loaded with safety technology. Even autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian detection. And we back our quality with one of the best warranties in Canada. The Hyundai Elantra. The compact that's big on safety.
It's about those times when you think about the future. And that's why we're here. To build a retirement plan that fits you, prepares you, and changes with you. So you can make the most of all those wonderful changes.
You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
present, goalies of the past. Ron Hextall played 13 seasons, 11 with the Flyers, leads all Flyers goalies in games and wins, leads all goalies in history in career penalty minutes, 480. Jim Rutherford played 13 seasons, 3 with the Penguins, 465 regular season and playoff games played, over 26,000 minutes played, one of 7 GMs in the last half century with 3 Stanley Cups, 1 with Carolina, these last 2 with Pittsburgh. The NHL on NBC is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. By Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By your local Lexus dealer. Learn more at Lexus.com. And by Discover Card. We treat you like you'd treat you.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est un tag assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate. New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash.
It's that excited feeling, the one you get about your life. And we're excited for you too. With easier, faster, more innovative ways to save, so you can make the most of all your wonderful changes.
You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Crosby and the fact that he has crossed 700 assists. Look at this. Joe Thornton and Henrik Sedin are the only active players that have that many. They've been at it a little bit longer, so some of that is understandable. The other thing of many that we can tell you about both of these captains on Star Sunday is that they have perfect attendance. They've made every game this year. There are 6 on the Flyers and 5 on the Penguins who are Ironmen, who haven't missed a game. Considering the collision nature of the sport, that's something. Couturier wins this. No carryover penalties nor power plays. We are as we started, tied. But here's Gensel, and then Schultz, and then Crosby. Crosby drifting, steering one-handedly, peels off, shoots, he scores!
This is not even fair. You watch the strength, the balance, and the athleticism on this play against Sean Couturier. That strength, athleticism, awareness, quickness, and then what a finish against Mrazek. That's just spectacular hockey. That's got to go up there with one of the goals of the year, Mike.
It looks like there might have been a little redirection. Mrazek loses his angle right here. Tough angle shot. Gets a little piece of it off of his glove. But what a move by Crosby, right? Showed everything you need to show in his whole arsenal of tools.
And so, again, for the second time of the game, the Penguins have a 1-goal lead. The Flyers have had a pair of those too. Hornquist banks it back in. Around it comes to Malkin. Tried to play the point. Flexed right in on goal. And that one stopped by Mrazek. Turning with it is Malkin. His shot is off Mrazek. High. The kneeling goaltender blocked it to the glass. And it is turned across now. Lindblom able to play it back out.
His 26th of the season.
It's 26 goals for Crosby this year. A goal a game in each of the last 3 contests for him. Schultz and Gensel get the assists at 17 seconds of the third. Off of Sherry back down. Gudas turning. Sherry wedges him. And it is pitched back out again and down. And it becomes an icing.
Crosby is 26 and Schultz and Gensel at 17 seconds.
Very special player, isn't he, Doc? I mean, we can go through the list again, but he's in the top 5 all time for me now. He's shown me enough time to merit that kind of consideration. You know, when you get that high, you can't say who's better than who, but this kind of skill is really amazing to watch. And, you know, it's amazing to me to see he's gotten better and better with every year. He figured out ways to improve on his shooting, on his defensive play, on his face-off making. And this is a guy, Couturier, that he was up against that is having a hell of a year.
And, you know, you talk about Sidney Crosby. There's Mark Recchi. Mark Recchi and I visited last night, and one of the things he said is, as great as Crosby is, the thing that people don't acknowledge enough about him, how hard he works. He is the hardest working player on the Pittsburgh Penguins, day in and day out. And he sets the example. He sets a tone.
Icing called again, and it will come back.
So, yeah, he's blessed with all this ability, but he doesn't waste it. He puts the work in all the time. I mean, I remember when Nathan McKinnon was the first overall draft pick, they were running sand dunes the day after the draft, McKinnon and Crosby. And then we talked about this before the game started against the Montreal Canadiens. Watch this. That's not a sleight of hand. That's just how good he is. Try that at home. Probably not going to happen for you in the driveway. That guy's just phenomenal when it comes to that stuff.
Thrown back in by Simmons on the bounce, guided aside by Matt Murray. Coming by Filppula, sent it in front off Murray, and sent to the back and held by Gudas, and his shot is blocked down in front. Wheel tried to feed it, but no luck. Brassard gives it back out, and on comes Kessel. But then it is Manning. Manning back ahead and closed off. Filtered back ahead for the carry-on by Kuhnhackl. Drop back on for Shen. And that one is blocked wide by Provorov. Stashed back out now to Schultz. Schultz threw it across the net mouth wide. Coming to the bench for another stick is Shen. It's handed across, and Schultz had trouble there. Able to rag away from Matt Reed and drop it back in. So then it is sent by Gostisbehere and then lobbed back in. Dumoulin goes back to play it yet again. And out of a 5-man scrum, Crosby closed his man off and fed it back across. And Kuhnhackl can step back out. Kuhnhackl with a long shot wide, right near a broken stick. Slipped back out, off of Letang, and so settled down. A magnificent goal, but you get 1 for that. And so it is a 1-goal game, and the Flyers just 1 strike away from getting it even again. Along to the outside is Giroux, and his shot, and that kicked aside, can be played along by Travis Konecny. The guys that can score are out there now for Philly. Checked down was Couturier by Crosby, and this one has slipped on back. So then Sanheim on the turning stick of Giroux. Got hung up for a moment with Gensel. It's pushed all the way in on goal, so there'll be no icing here, and the Flyers will take this opportunity to make a change in lines. Nudged ahead now for Hornquist. Hornquist able to work his way around behind the net. Steered right through that broken stick, though parts of it are near Malkin as he glides away, and then it's forced back out in a good reach at center, and it's turned over the Flyers and carried in by Patrick. Patrick sees it to Voracek, slipped on back. Now it's Lindblom, and a save made by Matt Murray. What a combination there between Patrick Lindblom and Voracek. Manning able to turn it. Voracek wanted to play it back. Got it on back now to Manning. Returns it on to Jake Voracek. Voracek slipped it back. It is Gudas there. Drive! And that one popped up in front. Guided to the corner then and played by Mata. Taken away though, unable to step out as Lindblom, and he can't get it past Matt Murray. Around it comes again. Flyers wearing to the task of tying it up here. Voracek slipped one, and that directed up high and out of play.
Voracek, as Doc talked about with Lindblom, do a great job here gaining the line, and then they just play tic-tac-toe. And Matt Murray has to come up large with the right pad, Mike.
And that was a great check by Hornquist coming back. Watch, speaking of checks, the cross-check. Crosby, little mean streak to him, but he's got it under control, and a great outlet pass. Strong, tough, a little mean, and very smart.
And how many guys have the courage when they're going down to their knees, Mike, to move that puck to the middle part of the ice like that?
Oftentimes, when that happens and the puck is turned over, a penalty. He did not on that case, but when there is a change in possession, especially in the offensive zone, the arm comes up.
So you're saying that Crosby might get the benefit of the doubt?
He might have gotten the benefit of the doubt on that one, but there have been benefits earlier to both teams. Leniency is... Well, in hockey, I don't find it a bad thing, but I may be wrong. Provorov a shot into the glove of Murray. I always like the game on the edge myself. Leniency often allows that. But anyhow.
Matt Murray's not being lenient at all. You see him fight that one off the noggin. He got turned around there, corkscrew, but he still found a way to make two or three different saves. How about that one off the stick of Shane Gostisbehere, that one against Lindblom? I mean, he's been really good, especially in the lower part of the net, Matt Murray, here this afternoon.
Taken along by Dumoulin. Nearly 5 minutes played here in the third. Everything's still up for grabs in a one-goal Pittsburgh advantage. This one is sent up high from center ice, so there's no penalty since it sailed out of play. Wednesday is rivalry night. With the playoffs looming, the Washington Capitals look to keep pace in a tight division race as they host the New York Rangers. That's Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC SN. Washington with a 5-point lead in the Metropolitan Division on Sidney Crosby and his team. 6-point lead on Columbus. 7-point lead on Philadelphia. 9-point lead on New Jersey. All the teams I mentioned, if the playoffs began today, would be in. But none of the 5 have sewed up a playoff berth yet. And we are down to the last 6 or 7 games of the season remaining for all 5. Here is Simmons. A second try. Decides to reverse and hand it on to McDonald. Turned out to be a good play because out comes Sanheim. And Sanheim fired it around. Came back over to Simmons, punched it around behind. Good stick lift there by Letang, and the puck comes to him, but off of Kessel's stick. 5.5 played in the third. Sanheim ahead. Back down the ice it goes. Handled by Murray and played by Ruido. Ruido able to step right back ahead. Floated back on the bounce and wide. Darting in was Hagelin. Cross-bodied there, though, by Gudas. Gudas emerges from a cancellation of players, but then handed it over for Malkin. Could not force it through. Manning said no. It's outletted ahead, and stepping on now is Scott Lawton. Laterra wanted to play to Lawton, but anticipating well was Malkin, who brings it ahead with Hornquist. Malkin there, but he has to button hook back or go offside. You're good. Hornquist sends it back to Mata, and then it is Schultz looking over the traffic as both teams decide to make a change at forward, and the Flyers will also make a change at defense. Now Dumoulin off the stick of Simone and back in deep. Punched around further. Nice play by Gostisbehere. Led back on, and this one is punched back in. Gostisbehere and John Carlson are tied for the defensive lead in power play points because of Gostisbehere's contribution on the third Flyers goal. Here is Voracek getting it on to Provorov. Hands it on now to Patrick. Patrick around to the front. Run into there by Schultz as he's stick-handled. And it can be played by Dumoulin. And he is crushed there by Nolan Patrick. Provorov gives it across. Gostisbehere ahead. And again, line changes. Fatigue sets in. 7 minutes gone in the third. And so a rest is needed for some. Crosby able to step along. Right on him is Couturier. Crosby forced it across. Rust worked it back in. Crosby turning. Sandheim on it. Poked across, and it is wedged off of Crosby. Ladled it down and pushed a backhander on goal. And a save made by Mrazek, and the crowd buzzing at that. Well, here is Giroux. Could not feed it in front. Dropped back to the corner and rushing after it, trying to get body position. Konechny, no luck because of Letang. And Letang able to march on back. And offside. Does he even think to do that? I mean, how does he... Well, it's pretty impressive having all of this talent on the ice at once. Because of Crosby's goal, it's 4-3 Pittsburgh right now.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est une tag assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate. New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash.
It's that excited feeling, the one you get about your life. And we're excited for you too. With easier, faster, more innovative ways to save, so you can make the most of all your wonderful changes.
You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
At his home in Alaska in a Sidney Crosby uniform, showing some great moves. It wound up on the internet. One of the people who saw it was Penguins co-owner Mario Lemieux. He said, why don't we get that kid to come from Alaska with his family to see a Penguins game? And on Wednesday, they did. And after the game, little Roman was taken to the Penguins dressing room by Mario Lemieux to meet the guy who also wears 87, who just scored the tie-breaking goal, Sidney Crosby. So here is a pass ahead. Voracek tried to work it across to Patrick. Protected, though, by Lindblom, but taken away and shuffled over by Kessel, who gets the return. More scrapping for possession. Kessel able to fire it back in. Gudas takes over there. Led blindly and taken by Mata. Mata with a wrister that is blocked right back down by Voracek. Hustled back for Gudas, and he flopped it back down and will become an icing.
Well, we keep showing this guy for a reason. And watch this. He gets away with a little hold on Sandheim. Watch his left hand on the stick. Uses that to hold off Sandheim and then stays with it. Gets a kick on it. Keeps it alive in the air and almost has a redo of his goal from Wednesday night.
It was a strong backhand that he got out of all of that.
If he doesn't make it in hockey, he can make it in high life.
This is forced back up the boards and can be grabbed off by Schultz, and that slipped off of Rust. Meanwhile, it's played by Manning, kept alive near the shelf by Dumoulin, battled for by Gensel, and all the way out to center ice they waltz before Dumoulin can take over. like to sit next to the guy that's banging on the floor like that? Well, anyway, here is Giroux. Giroux able to send it around behind, taken then by Konechny. Right around to Giroux yet again. Giroux works to the outside, battling further, and it's punched between the point men and back down. Giroux smacks his stick on the ice and hopes for something better this time. Forced back further now, and it is Couturier leading on, and Konechny is there. Konechny tried to slip one in front, collared by Giroux to the outside. Giroux wheels, gets it across, drive, and that one is held by Matt Murray. A wheeling shot by Gostisbehere.
Mike Sullivan's really angry. I mean, the end zone coverage not nearly good enough. You can see his face is turning beet red. He's angry. Guys aren't picking up in the right areas. You see everybody's running around, nobody's reacting, and then the quick shot on goal forcing Matt Murray into a really good save. But he's angry. He's really angry.
Well, this time of the year, you want your guys in the right position defensively. That's the easier part of a game. We know how offensively gifted this team is. Get it together with discipline and hard work at your end of the ice, and it goes a long way.
Another shot by McDonald was shrugged away by Matt Murray. That is now 40 shots on goal by the Flyers.
That was not a garden variety save either. That changed direction off the stick of Wayne Simmons' dot.
Broken up enough at the line that when Kessel went in, it became an offside play. Season high shots by the Flyers is 43, and they are now at 41.
Face-off win. Look at Wayne Simmons right there. He deflects that puck, and it changes directions. Good shot coming in from Andrew MacDonald. And there's a change of direction off the stick of Simmons. And Matt Murray, good thing he was square with the shooter there. That would have found its way in.
If Matt calls this game average, like he has the first two out of the concussion, then we're going to have to talk to him. And that doesn't necessarily say that it's going to wind up being a 4-3 game, but he has been superb in keeping his team in this with all of the shots on goal that have been permitted, and you can tell by the coach that I'm sure the coach would say Matt kept us going here at points in this game too. But here is Letang. And Peter Mrazek has helped change the culture of his team since coming on in relief of Alex Lyons. So here it is. It's across now to Letang with under 9.5 to go in regulation time. Dominic Simone goes down. Sanheim right near it. Takes him to the boards. Reaching in is Nolan Patrick. Two-a-side battle continues. Poked right back again by Voracek. Reaches in to get it, but can't make a pass because he was challenged immediately by Mata. Now it's a six-man scrum. Came on through. Mata able to emerge. Got it on to Kuhnhackl. German-born winger able to play it around behind, and it curled back up where it can be lifted on by Manning. And again, up for grabs. There have been so many of these board tussles today. And finally, Flyer possession. Manning got it across. Sanheim pulling away from Rust there to give it back to Manning. Filtered it ahead. Nolan Patrick able to wrist it back in. 8.5 to go in the third. Fed by Ruhwedel, played by Gensel, on now to Rust. Rust able to poke one along. Gensel able to jam it around behind. Couturier back deep to play it, but Crosby in the way. Crosby to the outside. Swept it across. Gensel! Save made by Mrazek! Gensel at point-blank range in front. Thrown back around behind, and Mrazek able to get it there. Backhand paddle with the pass on over for Provorov to hand up to Couturier. Weaving his way along, the 30-goal scorer got it back for Giroux, who played one in on goal. It was paddled aside by Murray, now taken around and spun by Giroux again. Giroux got it on a cross. Held there for a shot, and that one went wide from Gostisbehere. Drubbed along by Provorov, but right into Gensel. Recovered by Giroux, flopped around to the corner and taking it Couturier. Got it to Gostisbehere. Threw it across to Giroux, but it handcuffed him. And then Provorov has to play at center. Under 7.5. Forced across to Giroux, gains the zone. Just delaying now before he handed to Gostisbehere, then led back across, but this is cut by Hagelin and trickled back.
That's a nice job by Hagelin in his own zone defensively. Very well aware.
Alexiak dropped one ahead. It went through Hornquist. Sent right back and played carefully onto Evgeny Malkin, moving on. Malkin fires, and a bullet went wide. Alexiak across. Letang sent it ahead. Malkin and able to gain it and move back in. Can't force it by Sanheim. And then it's back for a shot that bounced harmlessly to the corner. Malkin steps in to take it. Malkin got it on back again. Alexiak with this one. The big man able to roll it back along, and Hagelin there. Stymied by the reach of Filppula. Hagelin rolled off that, got it to Alexiak, then back to Letang, and a shot shrugged off there. It's getting a piece of it, Mrazek, and then it's forced on back to center. Letang turning with it with under 6.5 to go. If the teams wind up tied after 60, it's 5 minutes of sudden death. If still tied, it winds up going to a shootout. A one-goal game as it's been much of the afternoon. This one forced back around in traffic, and a hurried shot is blocked and popped up in the air, and Jordan Wheel with a 3-point game. Figuring in all the Flyers' goals today, number 40 in white is out there, and he goes after this one. Worked on by Alexiak and shoved down. It's forced back out. Hoping for it is Kessel, and he's got it. He's got a man on the wing. Sherry looks now. Kessel. Brought on. Sherry couldn't get a good shot away. And then it is played along by Brassard. Got it onto the back. And it's worked by Ruedel, but right into the path of Manning, who steers it ahead. Ducking on back Filppula. Flyers spill over the boards in a player change. It's nudged on to McDonald, who has to get away from Sherry. He wants to come to the bench for a change as well. A pass goes back down. And it is going to be an icing call against Philadelphia with 5:23 to go in the third.
Penguins picking up the pace after the Flyers brought it to him. Here's Kessel with a nice move, good patience. Good pass, cross crease here, but Sherry just gets it deflected away by Simmons at the last second. And watch Crosby again, that same similar move, using one arm to hold off a one-handed pass right over there to Gensel, and it's a great save by Mrazek to keep this close.
Crosby won the draw, but it's back to center, and so grabbed off and returned to Crosby by Schultz. Couldn't get far with that one. Lindblom able to step ahead for it, but reaching him first was Dumoulin. Lindblom again threw one on a cross. Gostisbehere looking at it there. Gostisbehere sent it off of Provorov. Penguins able to take over, and Rust able to put it off a Flyers stick, that of Voracek. Under 5 minutes to go. On comes Couturier, able to gain the zone. Defended there by Schultz, though, and the loose one is flung back out by Rust. So now Gostisbehere with Couturier out. Takes the pass. Got it ahead for Giroux. Carried back on by Konechny. Konechny able to breeze around behind, and then he's jostled off in a good play by Letang. Turned back ahead, though, and Lawton put it in front, and Konechny got a piece of that one, fluttering it wide. Worked back ahead by Hagelin and popped on out to center. Chasing this one down, going back even deeper is McDonald, away from the reach of Malkin. Then Sanheim, then turned on to Malkin, but he must go back out to neutral ice. Right back ahead comes Hagelin again. Matched by Sanheim. Malkin out in front, and a shot would not go as Mrazek was watching. Ahead, it is carried by Wheel. Gains the zone, and he's got Simmons breaking, stashed it in, hoping for it. Simmons cross-bodied by Letang, but rolled off. Back up now came McDonald, and stepping free with it is Wheel. Wheel matched there by Letang, shoved around behind. Wheel tried to jam it in front, couldn't get a good shot away. Then it is taken by Brassard. Brassard continues to work, cancels there with Filppula, and the loose one comes on back and is battled for by Simmons, but pushed right back in where McDonald can skip one back down, no icing. Under 3.5 to go. More fire wagon changes at the bench. Fresh troops out for the Flyers, including Voracek. Fresh troops out for the Penguins, including Crosby. Pass comes ahead to Rust. Throws that back in, hoping for Gensel. Gensel bear hugs his man and wrestles him to the boards. That's Provorov. Meanwhile, it's taken on by Voracek. Voracek able to connect there for a little tap back in, but Schultz will get that. Schultz able to lob one ahead that's gloved down by Gensel. Spirited ahead for Crosby. Takes a look after he moved in for the puck, and Crosby is there behind. Can't center one in front. And Crosby floated one that is grabbed off and thrown by Nolan Patrick around. Kept alive, though, by Dumoulin and skittered wide. 2 3/4 minutes to go here in the third. We'll keep an eye on Mrazek to see at what time Dave Hackstall and his staff will signal him to come off for the extra man. Manning is able to step back out. Mrazek is still in the cage right now. Rattled on around for a little clearing attempt by Alexiak. That's grabbed off by the by the Penguins and sent on from Walton over to Hagelin, and his shot is blocked and then covered by Mrazek, and play is stopped. 2:19 to go, third period. It is 4-3 Penguins.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est un tag assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate. New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash.
It's that excited feeling, the one you get about your life. And we're excited for you too. With easier, faster, more innovative ways to save, so you can make the most of all your wonderful changes.
You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Freshening up for spring without spending a lot is refreshing. But when those spring touches get everyone as excited about the season as you are, that's what saving feels like, and why Walmart has all your spring essentials at unbeatable prices.
Technology's match play continues next, right here on NBC. But first, we settle the Battle of Pennsylvania. Semi-final matches, you see the outcome of those, and that's why Watson and Kisner have survived to the championship. Mrazek is in goal. Offensive zone face-off in front of him for the Penguins. Brassard will try to win it, presumably to Malkin right behind him. Off the tie-up, it came to Malkin. Grips and wheels one that is directed to the corner by Konechny. And Konechny is able to step to this. A little over 2 minutes to go. The bumpy ride to the finish. And Mrazek glides to the hash marks and now heads to the bench for the extra man, and the puck bumps to Malkin, and he couldn't settle it down. Alexiak, and that one is shrugged down right in front by Gostisbehere. Laid ahead, but too far for Voracek, and so it is played back in, and Gostisbehere is able to slug it ahead right to Voracek, and he's able to gain the zone. Voracek drifting with it now. 6 attackers for the Flyers. Through one in front, save Murray. Rebound popped up in the air, but Murray is able to grab and hang on. With a minute 34 to go, the Flyers get an offensive zone face-off.
He's feeling it now, Mike. I mean, Matt Murray's been really good, especially down low in this game, and you can see he just gobbles this thing up.
And it's a great move by Voracek, and Simmons sitting right there on the doorstep, as he usually is, but Voracek bought a lot of time there, made a good shot.
Oh, my goodness. Ooh, that went off the post. Didn't see it from the initial angle, but you see it there. And Brassard may have saved the goal. 19. That reaction from Derek Brassard. Ooh, that was close.
Off the face-off one by the Flyers, and it is Gostisbehere playing it along now to Giroux, who fired it wide. Bounce back over to Voracek again. Dealt back around, and Simmons tried to settle it down. Could not. Giroux there, but also Crosby. And the puck is scaled up high, and it sails back down and squibs on over to Gostisbehere. 75 seconds left in regulation time. Shane Gostisbehere with it, hands to the gliding Voracek, jammed it ahead. Giroux swatted it on, lifted back on by Letang, glove down by Gostisbehere.
No icing again on that clearing pass by Pittsburgh. Their experience showing up.
Gostisbehere led it on. Couturier swung it across, hoping for Giroux, and Giroux fed it on. Konechny able to swirl with it now. Konechny fed it over. It's held there by Voracek. Sent one around in front. Konechny got it back to Giroux. Sent it over for Gustafsson. Rebound score! The game is tied! It was Couturier out of a net mouth scramble, and the game with the goalie pull is tied up by the Flyers.
These guys, Mike was talking about the composure of the Penguins. How about the composure of Travis Konechny moving the puck? Giroux, quick blast by Gostisbehere. Look who's there, Johnny on the spot. Sean Couturier just puts it to the back of the net. A lively shot, and then the rebound and roofing it by Couturier.
Lots of reasons for the young Philadelphia Flyers to get discouraged, but they stayed right with this. 45 shots on goal throughout the game. They've earned the right to tie this one up. That's a huge point as they head off. Pierre talked about it earlier. Games in Dallas, in Colorado, not easy, either one of them. Desperate Dallas team and a rejuvenated Colorado Avalanche. That's a huge goal for Philadelphia.
And you got to give Dave Haxton on a staff a lot of credit, Mike. You talked about the young players. They've kept it together. There hasn't been a lot of yelling and screaming down here on the bench. It's been all positive reinforcement.
Gostisbehere and Giroux get the assist on Couturier's goal. For Couturier, that is 31. 30 seconds left in regulation. Reed hands it back. Provorov gives it across. You can understand why the Flyers might not want to take any chances here and at least get the secure point. But let's see. Filppula played it long off Matt Reed, gotten by Hornquist, dealt along to Kessel. And Kessel on out to center. If you only join us for hockey once in a while, you'll love 3-on-3 overtime with all of this talent. If you are a longtime hockey fan, you know what's coming. Both teams get a point. The Flyers tie Columbus. The Penguins get 4 behind Washington.
Way better than golf, dog.
4-4 after 3.
Une équipe qui roule, c'est une taxe assurance. C'est quand la dernière fois que tu aurais pu te sentir autant en pleine possession de tous tes moyens? Et voilà!
Promets-moi quand même de mettre ton casque le plus souvent possible.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate. New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash.
It's about those times when you think about the future. And that's why we're here. To build a retirement plan that fits you, prepares you, and changes with you. So you can make the most of all those wonderful changes.
You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
So the Flyers been going pretty good lately. 3-0-1 in the last 4. Penguins, not so great. They blew a lead to New Jersey here on Friday and lost in overtime about 36 hours ago. 6 wins and 10 on their season is not the kind of thing that they write home about. They're used to being really good, but we focus on this one now with some really great players on the ice. One of them took a tumble before he wanted to. That was Konechny, and he was helped there by Letang. Crosby and Rust, and Couturier and Provorov. And they're good, and the next wave of guys that come on, if they don't score here, will also be very good. Dropped off by Konechny. Returned to him by Couturier. Konechny gliding in on Letang. Protects. Shut down by Letang. It's turned over to Rust. Played to Letang. And then out to Crosby. Picks up Letang, who was blocked by Provorov. Letang moving on. Got it on to Rust. And now Rust comes to the bench and is replaced by Kessel. Crosby to the bench, replaced by Malkin, who faked the drive and then held. Malkin gliding to the outside. Malkin turning around behind. And then glides to the outside. Provorov watching him. Picks up Justin Schultz from the bench. Dropped off to Malkin again. Drive by Kessel was really a pass to Schultz.
Long sequence for the Flyers. They haven't changed any of their guys.
Here's Schultz moving. Wide of the glove hand of Mrazek in the cage. Rustled free by Kessel. They won't drift back too much because they don't want to allow the Flyers to change. Penguins keep changing. And it winds up becoming an offside. And so now the Flyers can get the change they want. A minute 16 in.
A big body play by Christopher Letang leads to all this mayhem at the other end of the ice. And just missing is Justin Schultz coming off the offensive blue line. Didn't miss by much.
Gensel and Brassard and Dumoulin. Giroux as well as Voracek as it's fed over to Dumoulin. Oh, and that's fought off by Mrazek. Loose puck is pushed around behind by Voracek, but now taken to the outside and given on to Dumoulin. Dumoulin hands back over to Jake Gensel. Gensel watched tightly by Gostisbehere. Voracek taking a look in front, watching Brassard. They drift back to center and now move the attack again. It's Dumoulin. Watched there by Giroux. Dumoulin circles, fed one, but came right to Voracek. And Voracek has Giroux skating at center, waving his stick, wanting a pass. Voracek able to glide back in, accelerates to the outside. Fanned on the shooting attempt. Dumoulin ties up with him. Voracek still trying to stick handle, but now taking it along and advancing it ahead is Gensel. More changes. Coming from the bench is Letang. Coming from the bench is Crosby for Pittsburgh. Simmons is already out. Also Nolan Patrick. Crosby moving in. He has Brian Rush nearby. Gives on back to Letang. Threw one in front. Waffle boarded away. Rebound. Score! It's Rush!
Makes this an easy tip-in for Rust. Peels back, gets himself open, loose puck, and he sees him all the way. Rust with a redirection, no chance for Mrazek. Good patience, good hustle, good recovery. Beats Gostisbehere to the loose puck, and Rust puts it away. And 5's the magic number for the Penguins. They've played Philadelphia 4 times, they've beaten them all 4 times, and every time they've scored 5 goals.
And you watch the bench celebrate yet again. 28 wins out of 38 games on home ice. Rush's second overtime goal in his career. Points numbers 91 and 92. Thanks for watching the NHL on NBC. 5-1 overtime Penguins. Tonight, Star Sunday continues on NBCSN with the Boston Bruins taking on the Minnesota Wild. Coverage begins 6:30 Eastern. Coming up next, our coverage of the Dell Technologies match play continues right here on NBC. For Mike Milbury and Pierre Maguire, Mark Lamb and Nick Beverly, Kimby Daniels and Lex Hudson, James Bellington, the Sandman in Philadelphia, Bruno Sammartino in Pittsburgh, Mike Emmerich saying so long and good afternoon.